Hello dancers and welcome. For those of you who are new, I'm Tiekka and this is Everyday Ballet, where we bring gorgeous, authentic, accessible classical ballet principles, training, and style to everybody. No matter your age or your body type or whether or not you know anything about ballet, I'm here to show you how to bring ballet's grace and power into your life. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to do ballet even if you have bad knees. Now, a lot of people are surprised to learn that you can actually do ballet even if you tend to have knee trouble in other activities. And this is because ballet really teaches the alignment that you need and gives you the strength that you need to correct a lot of those things we walk around with that causes stress on the knees. So I'm going to show you what to do for your ballet training or really any other activity, and I really hope you'll find it helpful. Remember, if you do, please like, subscribe, share, and if you'd like to train ballet with me, head over to everydayballet.com and check out my online training options. I would love to share more ballet with you. I'm so delighted you're here. Let's ballet. Keeping the knees safe and happy during ballet or any other form of exercise comes down to two categories. One is alignment and the second is movement. So let's address the alignment issues first. The number one alignment issue we need to pay attention to when using our knees and bending is that the knees are tracking over the toes. So you can just take your feet underneath the hips to experience this. So you're going to bend the knees. Now right here, you want the knees over the toes. Don't let them come in, don't let them roll out. You want the feet flat on the floor with the knees tracking over the toes. And the way you can check this is you can look down and see if your kneecaps or your toes will be coming out just in front of the kneecaps. If you can see your whole foot or the whole ball of your foot, then your knees are not aligned. You really want to make sure that the knee is tracking over the second toe. That's the one next to the big toe. Now, of course, in ballet, we do this in turnout with the rotation of the legs, but the principle is the same. And that is, from a gentle first position, you bend the knees and you can look down and see if that kneecap is tracking over the toes. This is so important because when the knee is rolling in, usually it rolls in towards the big toe. When that's happening, you're putting stress on the inside front of the knee, and we definitely don't want that. The second alignment issue is to make sure that the pelvis is tracking correctly over the knees. The pelvis is kind of like the steering wheel of your body. It's the heaviest part of the human skeleton. And so it's really important how we place this. So I'm just going to turn to the side here so that you can see. You want to make sure that your pelvis is not sticking back and it's not tucking forward. Instead, you want it right over the feet, right over the legs. I like to say in the studio that it's like you have a long tail hanging to the floor. This will really help you to find the pelvis over the feet. And now from here, when you bend the knees, you want to keep it over the feet. So often when we bend the knees, what happens is people squat back in the hips and the butt. And the moment you do that, you're going to notice that the stress collects at the front of the knee, kind of the patellar tendon and the kneecap. So it's very important to keep the pelvis over those feet and knees and not let it squat back. You also don't want to do the opposite, which is you don't want to tuck and then bend this way. Again, this is going to be in the front of the legs that you're going to feel that. So taking it into turnout for our ballet technique, what this means in our plie, our little bend of the knees, we're not going back like this, we're not tucking forward, we're just right over the feet. This will really help you to optimize the bending of the knees without collecting stress in the front. And then the final alignment issue is that you want to have your heels down on the ground when you bend the knees. Now, I know there are so many things that are so popular out there because it really does kind of make you feel the burn, or you have your heels up and then you're like pulsing. But you will notice that when you lift the heels and you start pulsing, again, the stress collects in the front of the knee. So if you want to ease up on the stress in the knees, you're going to want to place the heels flat on the floor. So in terms of our ballet technique, when we bend the knees, sink those heels like you've got sandbags in them, and remember those two other alignment issues. The knee is tracking over the toes and the pelvis is tracking right over the feet. If you do these three alignment things, you will go a long way to alleviating stress. In fact, what will happen is that instead of having a collection of stress at the front of the knee and the inside tip of the knee, you will start to feel the back of the leg supporting that bend of the knees, which is so important. It kind of diffuses the effort of bending the knees and takes it from being all in one place to back here and supporting. So now let's go over the movement issues. So the first movement issue is that you're going to want to support your core and spine, your posture, as you bend the knees. This means that whenever you bend the knees, you want to feel like you are zipping a pair of jeans. When you use your core to support your spine as you bend, it will not only protect your back, which is important, but it will help to take pressure off of the legs and the knee joints in particular. So it's a feeling of zipping the jeans as you bend the knees. This will be helpful, especially if you're going to lift something. And then the other issue that you want to pay attention to is to not go too low. Don't bend so deeply in the knees. It is much better to keep the heels down and support the core than it is to go into what we call our grand plie, our big plie. When people go into the big plie, they tend to let all of their alignment kind of collapse. And so we definitely don't want to do that. And just so you know, you do not have to do a grand plie to be able to do ballet. Demi plie, our little half plie with our heels down, that's what we use all the time. The grand plie is really just a strengthening exercise. So if your knees are not comfortable doing a grand plie, you don't have to do it at all. In fact, please don't do it. It is much more important to have that good demi plie. And then finally, the movement issue that you'll want to consider is that when you straighten the legs, in terms of ballet this is, you don't have to do this in regular life, but when you straighten the legs, you want to feel like you are pushing the floor away. So once you've set up all of that beautiful alignment, heels down, knees over toes, pelvis over the feet, you're going to notice the backs of the legs are working there. And so in order to heighten that and strengthen that alignment in the legs, you're going to want to push through the floor as you recover. This will really help you to strengthen and make this kind of a muscle memory habit so that the backs of the legs are really supporting the knees at all times. Keeping our knees safe and happy during ballet training or any other activity is well worth the effort. So even if you have chronic knee issues, these principles ought to help. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. And remember, if you did, please like, subscribe, share. And if you'd like to learn some more ballet from me, I would love to teach you. Head over to everydayballet.com and check out my Ballerina Body online training programs. Thank you so much for sharing ballet with me today. And until next time, happy dancing.